back out the side. Deep to left field. You've got to be kidding me. Jeremy Pena getting loose. He is starting his 8th consecutive game as the Astros take on the Seattle Mariners with a 4-3 record. Astros have lost a couple in a row after starting the year 4-1. You kind of turned the page from last night. It was an ugly loss, 11-1, to kick off this 3-game series from the Pacific Northwest as we welcome you inside T-Mobile Park for the middle game of a 3-game series. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Another chilly evening up here in Seattle, Blummer, but hopefully those bats will get warm on a cold night.
I tell you what, TK, when you have these cold nights, there's nothing better than thinking about getting it off the barrel. So hopefully the idea is get the barrel of the baseball, warm those bats up.
What they need is a little bit of offensive support because Justin Verlander's on the mound and he usually holds the opposition down.
Yeah, he does a very good job. We saw it last time out against the Angels, how well he pitched in that outing. Coming back from Tommy John surgery, it would be nice to get some help from the offense.
So for Verlander, he really likes to attack with that fastball, and he has not lost anything off his last Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, there was a lot of concern. What kind of Justin Verlander were we going to get? Was it going to be the vintage Verlander, or was it going to be somebody protecting that injury? And I think we kind of got a little bit of both. I think early on we saw him kind of protecting that arm a little bit, was heavy on the fastball before he started to get to some of that spin. But what a luxury it is for Justin Verlander, even after surgery, to be able to reach back and touch 95, touch 96 when he needed to. And how about facing one of the best hitters in all of baseball in Mike Trout and being aggressive with that fastball? You can see 10 four-seamers. He's able to move it around the zone, down, in, out, but most notably up, where you can really get Mike Trout with the heat.
So Verlander, who had never been hurt for that long in his career before, went 20 months between starts, but he did not lose anything in his velocity from 20 months ago, and he didn't lose anything in his velocity as the game went along either.
That's probably what's most impressive. The fatigue did not set in at all for Justin Verlander. That tells me that he came into camp prepared. He had a great spring training. He's had conversations with Josh Miller and both Dusty Baker saying, hey, I feel good, I feel healthy. Let's start ramping up the pitch counts, because you can see 75 pitches in, still 95.
Verlander back against Seattle here at T-Mobile Park, where he made his very first start as an Astro back in 2017. When we come back, Julian Morales and Blummer will talk a little bit about Jose Altuve at the top of the lineup. He can ignite this offense. What are some of the keys for Altuve getting hot? We'll find out.
Into T-Mobile Park for game 2 of 3 between these Astros and Mariners. Justin Verlander on the mound. As you heard the guys setting up the offense. Would love to come through and support him today on this cold night here in Seattle. The offense, it's been quiet for them. Dusty Baker telling us last night, maybe just a matter of timing for it to get going. They've also faced some good pitching like Marco Gonzalez last night, but he's not too concerned yet. However, they would like to get it clicking, and for that one game, you might remember offensive outburst, 13 runs, but if you take that away, it's just been 12 runs that the Astros have scored in the other games that they have played. Only 5 in the 5 games they've played since that 13-run game, only 9 runs. So taking that one out, making it seem like these bats are pretty quiet, and for a lot of these guys, they could be getting frustrated because they're just used to hitting, like Jose Altuve. And for more on Altuve, who's at the top, we're going to bring in Jeff Blum. Now, what are you seeing from your chair up in the booth?
You know what? It's kind of tough to put all this on Jose Altuve, and he's going to turn things around. But it was just kind of interesting watching that ball game yesterday on how Marco Gonzalez and some of the other pitchers attacks Jose Altuve, because Altuve is one of those guys that can rage on the fastball. We know he loves hitting it from head to toe. And what you're seeing right now with the balls being put in play with the off-speed pitches, a lot of them to that pull side, almost all of them to that pull side. We know he can turn on the fastball, but I think right now he's trying to go get the baseball. And when you try and go get the baseball, instead of letting that pitch travel, seeing it for a little bit longer, the barrel gets out in front of home plate, and a lot of those pitches get hooked down the line. But I think Altuve is really getting a lot of off speed because of that reason. We saw Marco Gonzalez with a lot of changeups. And then how about Yohan Ramirez, a power arm that throws 95 plus miles an hour, threw him 3 straight sliders he was unable to get to. So I think the book right now, stay soft on Jose Altuve, but the way that you change that is by hitting the off speed, and Altuve is going to do that sooner than later.
For that tonight, facing Chris Flexen. Thanks so much for the inside, Blummer. He'll have the call with TK in just a moment. First pitch is coming up from T-Mobile Park right after this. Justin Verlander on the mound for his 2nd start of the season. Should be a good one, and it's coming up next.
On on AT&T Sportsnet is presented by HEB. No store does more than my HEB. And by Whataburger. Get the new Southern Bacon Chicken Sandwiches while you can, only at participating Whataburger locations. Downtown Seattle, a little cool, little rain, so the roof is closed tonight at T-Mobile Park. Temperature a little bit less than it was last night, so a chilly evening for Saturday night baseball as Jose Altuve will lead off. We'll look to see if what Blummer and Julie were talking about pays off for Altuve tonight. Michael Brantley bats second. Alex Bregman in the 3 spot. Kyle Tucker is the 4th hitter in right field. Then you got Yuli Gurriel, Nico Goodrum the DH, Chas McCormick, Jeremy Pena, and Martin Maldonado.
Right-hander Chris Flexen is on the mound for the Seattle Mariners. See his numbers in 31 starts last season. Had a great record at 14-6. Pretty good ERA at 3.61. He is a control guy. He's not going to strike out a lot of hitters. He's going to stay around that zone. Has multiple pitches, usually heavy on that fastball and cutter. But at first start of this season, he was heavy on the fastball changeup. But again, watch out for the off speed and trying to keep these Astro hitters off balance.
We're ready to go. The Mariners coming off an 11-1 victory. They've won 2 in a row after dropping 4 straight. The Astros have lost 2 in a row after starting the year 4-1, and Jose Altuve hits a pop-up and taking charge in right field. Jared Kelnick calls off Adam Frazier. Some new teammates out there with Frazier coming over from San Diego, so they get together on that pop-up.
There's those pitches I was talking about with Chris Flexen as Jose Altuve pops out on the first pitch fastball. He can be in the low 90s consistently, reach back and get into the mid 90s if he has to. A little bit of a slider, curveball, and a changeup. And again, that changeup this season being used a little bit more here early on.
He's faced the Astros 4 times in his career, 3 times as a Mariner and 1 time with the New York Mets. Back in 2017 as he delivers a strike to Michael Brantley. 3 starts last year against the Astros. All came here at T-Mobile Park. The one time he pitched at Minute Maid Park was with the Mets in that weekend series right after Hurricane Harvey, as Brantley shoots one towards right field, but a great stop by the second baseman Adam Frazier robs Brantley. Great defensive play by the Mariners' new second baseman for out number 2.
The career usage against the Astros. You can see that slider is slipped in there. It's turned into more of a cutter the last couple of times that he did face him. But that fastball being used under 50% kind of goes to what we were talking about as far as the off-speed usage against these Astros, who are very good fastball hitters. Hopefully they can see some of those pitches in the zone and have them hanging out over the plate that they can get the barrel to.
Alex Bregman will bat with the bases cleared and 2 outs. Astros offense this year has scored 25 runs in 7 games. So a little more than 3.5 runs per game, but the majority of those runs, 13 of the 25, coming in 1 game a week ago Friday when they won 13-6. 1 game 13 runs, the other 6 games a dozen runs. Yet they still have a winning record of 4-3. Last night was the first night their pitching let them down as they allowed 11 runs to the Mariners in an 11-1 loss. Bregman has seen 3 pitches from Chris Flexen, none of them in the zone, and Alex ahead of the count 3-0. We have seen the Astros at times struggling when they've come into Seattle, and they have a tendency to get things turned around while here. Hopefully that comes into play tonight and tomorrow, because when you start out a road trip 4-1 and now all of a sudden you're looking at 4-3 with 2 games to go, it would be disappointing to at least not have a winning road trip, obviously, and then you would like to see if they can even get to 6-3 before they head back to Houston. But when you're 4-1, you don't want to even think about not having a winning road trip of 9 games.
Well, these guys have ideas on winning every single series they go out there and play. Had the opportunity to do that against Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim split that series, that quick 2-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. But yeah, they're going to have to play pretty well these next 2 games to take these 2 games from the Seattle Mariners to win the series.
Off the end of the bat, Kyle Tucker, who's Mr. Tough Luck with exit velocity, gets a little bit of an advantage with a little looper that literally was off the end of the bat and tailed away in the left center field for a hit.
Yeah, we're going to check this out on our MD Anderson strike zone, but there's a saying in the dugout: when you are seeing a lot of off speed and you get a hit like that, hit it like they throw it. Low velocity, low exit velocity, just pay him back. There was just a looping curveball at 70 miles an hour in the zone, and that's what I'm talking about with the off speed. Even though that ball's not crushed, it was a strike. It was a hittable strike, and Kyle Tucker went after it. And about time he gets some luck.
He needed that. Tuck came into tonight 3 for 27, batting 111 on the year. It's almost like he didn't want to believe his eyes. He didn't leave the batter's box for a split second as that ball was falling into center field. Here's Yuli Gurriel. Yuli was the only Astro last night that did anything offensively. A couple of hits for Yuli, his first multi-hit game of the season. Reigning American League batting champion, now up to 250 on the year, 4 for 16, with 3 of those 4 hits being doubles. Goes after that pitch and fouls it down the right field line. Long run Kelnick, and he's going to run out of room.
You always see smiles after hits like that.
As you say, it doesn't always seem to even out, but that's one that Tucker was owed over the course of the first 8 games where he's hit into some hard outs.
Yeah, it's never going to even out, but you need a couple of those just to maintain your sanity.
So now Yuli will fight down to the count 0-2 with 2 on and 2 out. And that one down and away. Flexen, 27-year-old out of Newark, California. After being released by the Mets in 2019, pitching with New York from 17 through 19, he pitched in the KBO, the Korean Baseball Organization, with Doosan in 2020. And came back to the state, signing with the Mariners. A little chopper towards third. Abraham Toro will charge and throw off balance in time to get Gurriel for the final out of the inning. A walk, a hit, 2 men left on base. Astros fail the first.
Series here in Seattle. The Astros faithful showing up, showing their pride with the orange. No score between the Astros and Mariners as Justin Verlander takes his position on that hill for the Houston Astros. That last start, April 9th against the Angels, ended up being a loss. Went 5 innings, pitched well, just didn't get the run support, throwing 80 pitches. He's got pretty good career numbers against the Seattle Mariners also, 16-9 in his career in 31 starts. So another chance to see JV extend that pitch count, get a little bit deeper into this game, hopefully, and pitching well.
First batter he will face is Adam Frazier. Frazier had quite a home debut last night in a Mariners uniform. 4 hits, 4 runs batted in, a couple of runs scored. He had struggled coming into that game, was 4 for 30 on the year, and went 4 for 5 last night. Verlander works ahead of him, 0-2. Here's the Mariners lineup with Adam Frazier at the top, followed by Ty France. Jesse Winker in left field bats third. Eugenio Suarez the DH. J.P. Crawford over at shortstop. Former Astro Abraham Toro at third base. Jared Kelnick in right field. Julio Rodriguez in center, and Cal Raleigh rounds out the M's lineup sent out by Scott Service today. 0-2 pitch, and Frazier fouls it back. Frazier last night with those 4 hits and 4 runs batted in as a leadoff hitter. Accomplished something that hadn't been done since the guy that threw out the first pitch of the home opener last night, Ichiro Suzuki, accomplished that feat. Counts 1-2. Ichiro did that in the 2004 season. This is down and in, 2-2. Frazier 0 for 4 in his career against Verlander. Only one Mariner in this lineup has a hit in their career against JV. Not everybody has faced him, but 4 of the first 5 hitters have faced Verlander, and only Jesse Winker has a hit in 4 at bats. That was a home run. 2-2 pitch, and Frazier picks up where he left off last night. That is 5 hits in this series and 6 at bats. Adam Frazier, a single in the left field. The Astros starting defense is presented by Xfinity. Michael Brantley out in left field tonight with Chas McCormick in center, Kyle Tucker in right, Jose Siri the night off. Alex Bregman and Jeremy Pena left side, Jose Altuve and Yuli Gurriel on the right side. Martin Maldonado catching Verlander for the first time in 22. Jason Castro caught JV's first start in Anaheim. Here is Ty France. He has never faced Verlander before. Verlander in heading out to the mound tonight. A quick nod to the home plate umpire Greg Gibson, and also a small conversation with Gibby. This is the 9th time in Verlander's career Gibson has been behind home plate. Here's a fly ball in the right field. Easy play for Kyle Tucker, who puts it away for out number 1.
Justin Verlander's pitch usage in that first start against the Angels, very similar as far as that fastball use. He is one of those guys that will be heavy on the fastball by today's standards, throwing it 54% of the time to left-handed hitters. Threw that curveball down and in. We've already seen a couple of sliders to the leadoff hitter, the left-handed hitter Frazier. But to right-handed hitters, basically that fastball slider mix.
Now face Jesse Winker here. Winker had a nice debut at home in a Mariners uniform, a couple of hits and a couple of walks. Said it was the first day he's ever spent in his life in Seattle. Got to play in the Mariners home opener on that day. Never played here before, had never been in this area before until last night. Mariners fans already like what they see from this all-star from the Reds last year. Just acquired a little over a month ago. Both Winker and Eugenio Suarez acquired on the 14th of March. Verlander checking Frazier a couple of times at first. Adam stole 10 bases last year in 15 attempts. Justin has come out firing strikes tonight. First 9 pitches, 7 strikes. Mentioned Greg Gibson calling balls and strikes for the 9th time in Verlander's career. That's tied for the 2nd most of any umpires behind the dish. Only Ron Kopa has umpired more home plates for Verlander in his starts. Now, Greg Gibson's a guy that you know well and you caught up with the other night.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting to run into him. It's actually kind of fun to run into some of the umpires that you were able to work with throughout the years of playing. But Gibby was one of those guys. Good intensity back there, good conversation. He's got a real respect for the game and what guys are going out there and doing. So that conversation's always welcome with him.
See the pitch comm on the knee of Martin Maldonado. He went with it last night with Oda Rizzi. There was a debate whether or not he would go with it tonight with Justin Verlander. I know that right there they had a little time trying to get in on the, oh, he doesn't have it on tonight, so I guess they are going with the old school signs. Last night he had that pitch comm device right on top of his right shin guard. But it's a pitcher comfort thing.
He put it back on there.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
No swing, says Will Little. You thought they could have gone to a 3rd strike there.
I thought they got him with that slider just being a good pitch. I think that's why Winker actually swung at it on our MD Anderson strike zone. You can see that slider down and in, touching that down and in corner. That is ideally located where it's tough for that hitter to hold up, and that barrel for me got out there a little bit too.
Called third strike. He gets it this time. Winker lingers at home plate to have an extra word with Greg Gibson, but that is strikeout number 1 on the night for Verlander.
Yeah, I think Winker turned around and said, you should have called the pitch previously. But here on our matches from Supermo, he goes right back to that slider. Got it up in the zone. It was a pitch. It caught a lot more of the zone than that previous pitch, but Winker locked up on it.
It's close to center square. Eugenio Suarez, the batter. Suarez misses the slider. Suarez hitting a home run last night in his home debut, also coming over from the Reds in that same trade that brought Winker over. 31 home runs last year with Cincinnati and 2 on the young season for the Mariners. Verlander has used that slider effectively against Suarez in 3 career at bats. He is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. And in terms of how Verlander does against the rest of the league, non-fastball, that 133 opponent average against since 19, the best in all of baseball. Mariners the only team that Verlander faced in 2020, but they didn't. A lot of new faces since then, including Suarez, but he's having trouble with that slider.
Slider's filthy right now. Coming out of the chute with 95 and then a slider 87 to 88 miles an hour, and he looks like he's throwing it exactly where he wants it to be.
Fastball backs him off the plate a little bit. It's 2-2. Verlander 5 innings in his first outing, threw 80 pitches against the Angels, allowed 3 hits and a run. Swing and a miss. Got it with a high fastball. 96-mile-an-hour heat from Verlander to end the inning with back-to-back strikeouts. We're scoreless.
HEB, we're taking a look at the center field position because offensively they have had it going on since day one. They're going back and forth. Jose Siri and Chas McCormick trading off playing time. But you see the numbers they put up on the bottom of your screen. 424 average, over 1,000 OPS. Getting it done when it's their chance to play, which is most impressive because they aren't playing every day. And when they were in there together, guys, putting up hits yesterday. And Chaz, we saw the 3-hit night. We saw Siri with a home run, just getting things done offensively.
Well, Julia, that was one of the questions coming out of the spring, was who was going to get the playing time and how were the Astros going to be in center field while Jake Myers was on the mend. And so far, those numbers you mentioned, the best in all of baseball. Nico Goodrum, the DH, sends one down the line in right field. That's his first hit as an Astro, and he's going to go into second base with a leadoff double. Nico Goodrum sends one down the line in right for a double. We hadn't seen him since the Anaheim series against the Angels.
It's going to feel good for Nico Goodrum to get this base hit, double out of the way. Did a good job staying on that change up. 79 miles an hour, drop the head on it, yank it down the line, and off to the races.
Should have qualified. We hadn't seen him at the plate since the Angels series. He did come in defensively last night late in that 11-1 game, but his first AB since last Sunday against Los Angeles, and he doubles into right field. Now here's the aforementioned Chas McCormick that Julia was talking about. Chas has hit in all 5 starts, shows bunt, and takes a strike. Chas 8 for 19 on the year with a 947 OPS.
Chas beat me to the punch. I was wondering, with the leadoff man at second base and the difficulties that the Astros have had scoring, why not manufacture one early? You could push a run across and then go from there.
Showed bunt on the first pitch, lays off that one. It's 1-1. Chris Flexen. Allowing a hit in the first, and now a double here to start the second inning. McCormick sends one high in the air to right field. Should be deep enough to advance. Goodrum coming in on it now is Kelenic. Nico's going to test him. Here comes a throw and head first slide. Safe at third base. Goodrum. Very good throw by Kelenic, but Goodrum just beat it.
Good job by Chaz going to the opposite field. Great job by Nico Goodrum tagging up and taking the 90 feet. So the Astros have a runner at third base, less than 2 outs as you take a peek at Nico. Pretty good camera angle on this one as he makes sure to catch and then takes off. Dives in safely.
So now with a runner on third and less than 2 outs, the infield comes in with Jeremy Pena at the plate. Jeremy looking to knock in his second run of the season. He hit a solo home run against the Angels. It's part of a 3-hit game on Friday night last week. Takes a strike there. It's 0-1. Astros would love to get on the board here early. They trailed throughout the night last night. Up high for a ball, 1-1. Flexen is not a guy that's going to overpower you with strikeouts. In 20 1/3 innings, 21 1/3 innings against the Astros, he has struck out just 11. Pena sends one to center field deep. Back goes Rodriguez near the wall. Julio Rodriguez puts it away at the base of the wall. Nico Goodrum could walk home if he chose. He trots in for the game's first run. Jeremy Pena, a deep sacrifice fly.
He smoked that curveball. That breaking ball stayed up in the zone, and Jeremy Pena put a sweet swing on it. Almost launched it out of here in center field. Good recognition, stayed back and really drove through that pitch. Almost snuck it out of here.
He's not getting any help carry wise with the weather tonight.
Yeah, this cold weather is going to be suppressing a lot of that carry. But a pretty well manufactured first run to get on the board early. That's a good sign for the Astros.
Double, get him over, get him in. That's what the Astros did on a couple of flyouts. And here's Martin Maldonado. When you're struggling to score runs as the Astros have been, productive outs are a beautiful thing. Maldonado hits one to the left of J.P. Crawford, who makes the play for the final out of the inning. But the Astros on the board first. It's 1-0.
Social media. Get your game highlights, player interviews, special giveaways by finding us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All things Astros all season long at AT&T Sportsnet. The Astros have been missing Yordan Alvarez. He's been on the IL due to health and safety protocols. But good news, guys. He was walking around the clubhouse. He grabbed that bat, said hello, headed to the cage, even came out onto the field doing some running and baseball activities, right? It's been a while for him. So for him, it's just about getting into baseball shape. Hopefully we see him in the next couple of days. TK.
Be good to get that big stick back in the middle of that lineup for the Astros. Dusty said tomorrow might be a little soon, but hopefully for the home opener on Monday night against the Angels, we might see the big man back in there in the lineup. Here's J.P. Crawford. A 1 count. He pops one foul. It'll be 0-2. Justin Verlander pumping strikes here early on. 17 pitches needed in the first inning, plus these 2 this inning, and Justin has thrown 14 out of 19 strikes. He had an extended conversation with Greg Gibson on the way back to the dugout. Just kind of looked like they were catching up. I don't know if there was any particular issue there. It just seemed like 2 guys that have been in the game a long time hanging out.
I think that's exactly what it was.
Ground ball right side. Yuli is there, gloves it himself, and will take it to the bag himself for out number 1 in the second inning.
It's time to get out and play. It's presented by Toyota. Abraham Toro coming to the dish. He had an impact on the Astros and Justin Verlander going opposite field in his native country of Canada for a big 2-run shot in that ball game, and then he got the final out of that no-hitter, the 3rd no-hitter for Justin Verlander. And of course, it was maybe right about here where he asked, where is Toro? He eventually found him and gave him a great big bro hug on that one for supplying the runs and the defense.
Little looper, Pena going out, and he makes a great sliding catch. Jeremy Pena right in front of Michael Brantley, who cheers into his glove as he watched that young shortstop flying to make that play.
The flying Pena. He had a long way to go. He was on the second base side of the field on that one. Watch where he sets up. He's over the left shoulder of Justin Verlander, gets a great read on it, and just puts the throttle down and takes away a base hit. He knew that was a great play. Young man has been playing some great defense.
I love the reaction, too.
I do, too. Love the enthusiasm.
He's kind of a quiet kid, doesn't show a lot of emotion, but he was pretty pumped up with that play, and rightfully so.
No, he realized he made a great play right there.
Here's Jared Kelenic. Kelenic takes a called strike. So after a leadoff hit by Adam Frazier, Verlander has retired 5 in a row, including that fine play by Jeremy Pena.
I got some numbers on that play if you want them.
I do. That's why you're the best, buddy. Take it away.
Well, it was a 10% catch probability for Michael Brantley out there in left field. But Jeremy Pena took off, ran 88 feet at 29.1 feet per second. Wow. Getting up into that elite zone to track that down. That was beautifully done.
Well done by Pena. So basically Brantley had no chance.
No chance.
Swing and a miss. Verlander impressive. Striking out Jared Kelenic on 3 pitches. A 1-2-3 inning. JB got a little help as well.
Yeah, you got the veteran on the mound, and then you got some exuberance at shortstop, showing some unbelievable range. The Astros season tickets. Get the best seats for the best price and enjoy exclusive season ticket holder benefits all season long. Become a season ticket holder today at astros.com/ticket plans.
To the top of the order, Jose Altuve will lead things off for the Astros here in the 3rd inning. Houston leading 1-0 on an RBI sac fly by Jeremy Pena, who also made a fine defensive play on a pop-up off the bat of Abraham Toro. We'll watch to see if Altuve can do what you were talking about with Julia pregame. Flex is not a guy that's going to overpower you and pick up a lot of strikeouts, and you'd like to see him just let the ball travel a little bit.
Just start shooting everything right back up the middle. Do everything you can. Good take. No, just, shift that gear. Instead of trying to make contact out in front of home plate, trying to go get the ball, just let that thing travel a little bit. Try and imagine hitting it off your front foot, letting it travel, stay up the middle, because you can see the shift is employed. So there's plenty of space out there to go out there and find that hit. And Altuve is such a good hitter that he should be able to do stuff like that.
Takes a cutter for a strike. It's 1-2. Altuve coming into tonight 3 for 8 with a double against Flexen.
But that's part of the problem too, is if your rhythm is off and you don't have that foot down when you feel ready to let the hands go, you can lock yourself up a little bit. It's happened to the best of them.
That one fouled out of play.
But I kind of like the direction of that. I don't like that the barrel was under the ball, but I like the idea that he was kind of trying to shoot that ball the other way.
Flied out to right field his first time up.
What's great about Altuve is when he figures it out, man, he can get some hits in bunches.
Altuve 3 for 25 on the season. Ground ball towards the left side. J.P. Crawford, the Gold Glover 2 years ago, makes the play for out number 1. Bring up Michael Brantley. Brantley robbed of a base hit his first time up on a fine play by Adam Frazier. Made a diving stop towards his right. Mariners did well in Flexen starts last year. He made 31 starts. They were 22-9 in those 31 starts for the right-hander. Delivers top of the zone strike here. It's 1-1. Astros Astros faced him 3 of those 21 times. The Astros won all 3 of those games. So he was 22-6 against the rest of the league and 0-3 against the Astros last year in terms of games he started in the Mariners result. Second start of the year, went 4 1/3 against the Twins, 3 runs allowed. That one towards the middle, and right there is the shortstop J.P. Crawford. Pretty smooth play on the short hop. Michael Brantley's hit the ball hard twice and has nothing to show for it.
Yeah, that was a good play, good recognition by J.P. Crawford when that ball jumped off the mound, went and got that short hop. Yeah, I thought it was really interesting about Chris Flexen. You talked about the strikeout rates earlier. When he pitched overseas as a starter here, he was one of the leaders in 28% strike percentage, but he comes back to the States and all of a sudden last year it drops to almost 17%. So a little bit different in leagues and how his stuff plays.
Yeah, 92, 93 with a fastball here is fairly average.
Pedestrian, yeah, that's almost below major league average velocity.
But in the KBO, where there's a lot of off-speed stuff, 93 is pretty solid velocity for their starters.
It's really interesting to see those numbers.
Yeah, like you said, it's a pretty big jump. What was it, 28 to 17%?
Yeah, 28% over there in the KBO, and then last year at 16.9% as far as the strikeout rate.
This is the Bregman. Counts 2-1 on Alex. No strikeouts tonight for Flexen. He's had 5 ground outs and 3 balls sent in the air for outs. And there's another one in the air that should be an out. Rodriguez will call off Winker and put it away. That's a 1-2-3 inning. First 1-2-3 inning for Flexen tonight. Astros lead 1-0 heading to the bottom of the 3rd. Saturday.
It's on Twitter at ATT Sportsnet SW. There you'll vote, and we want you to give some feedback on what the Astros used last night. It was PitchCom. First time they used it, Jake Odorizzi and Martin Maldonado. What are your thoughts? Yes? Use it? No? More old school? Or you need some more information on it? Jake Odorizzi said that they basically just the volume needed to be adjusted at one point. You know, it was really loud in here, but really good feedback from both him and Martin. Martin said he might mess around a little bit with the configuration on just maybe which buttons he uses for which pitch. You just use it enough to where it's like a cell phone. You can text without looking down. You'll get comfortable enough using it, but everybody seems to like it so far, guys.
You can text without looking?
Yes.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
I got to work on that.
Yeah, I need to up my text.
You can at least get around your apps and stuff pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Where it's your hand's almost moving faster than you can think. Oh, guys, come on.
We weren't sure if Maldi and JV were going to use it tonight, but I think Maldonado has already shown that when runners are on base, he will go to it. It's 1-2.
Yeah, I'm still kind of intrigued by it. I want to see how when these guys like Julia just said about Maldi, once he gets comfortable with the configuration of it and punching the right buttons, I'm really kind of curious to see how it does kind of speed things up a little bit as far as communicating that pitch to the pitcher and getting going.
Here's the changes for the season. What we're talking about primarily is PitchCom, with the catcher being able to relay the signs to the pitcher without actually going to the old school signs. He can just punch it in. Martin has shown he likes to wear it right above the right shin guard. 3 fielders can also get the pitch location too. We've seen teams use their middle defense, second short and center field, to also be aware of the pitch. That ball was framed up at the bottom of the zone by Martin Maldonado. Julio Rodriguez gets called out. 4th strikeout for Justin Verlander, and there's 1 away.
We've started to see this around the league in the last couple of years when framings really kind of come into the conversation, where catchers will try and snatch it and hold it in the zone and bring it back, and they just don't square it up.
Right.
It's a very good pitch, but Maldonado was trying to make it just that much more enticing to call. Fortunately, Greg Gibson, the home plate umpire, stayed with it and did call it a strike. But all Maldonado's trying to do is just make sure that it's a called a strike by the way he catches it.
So before umpires were graded on every game, a pitch that wasn't caught would usually be called a ball.
Yes.
But if Gibson calls that a ball, even though Maldi doesn't catch it, that goes against his report.
Yep.
Because that's a strike, even though the catcher didn't help him out with it. Here's a fly ball to left field off the bat of Cal Raleigh. And Brantley puts it away. Raleigh retired for the second out. So with PitchCom in play, I think especially next year, if we do go to a pitch clock, it's going to help out so much more for a guy to get a sign right away, to not be worried about shaking and having that pitch clock run out on you.
And I think what we're seeing right here is to TK's point on how it could speed up, because if that ball's being flown out, guaranteed catch, the catcher Maldonado can look and see who's walking to the plate and say, okay, we're starting him off with this pitch, fire it out to the pitcher. He can either shake it off or agree to it, dig in, get the hitter in the box and go.
It's interesting because yesterday Maldi was covering up the right knee to kind of shield the hitter. Now we saw he just went to the mechanism kind of like where he would normally put the signs to try and hide it again that way.
It's interesting. I mean, everybody's going to have their own technique on being able to send those signs out. So we're watching Maldi work with it in real time, which is kind of fun.
And that goes back to Julia's point to start the inning. He's texting without looking.
Wow, he's going to open up so many doors in his life now.
He is going to the PitchCom without even looking at it. He just holds it, knows what button he has to push. He looked down briefly there, but now he's signaling Verlander without actually using the fingers to signal, and JV's ready to go. I like this.
I do too. You know what's interesting about the whole pitch clock situation is we talk about pitchers. I'm concerned about the hitters. Get in the box. That's going to be the big issue. I think pitchers will be able to adapt, especially if we have this PitchCom with the good information. They're getting it quickly. They're going to be on the mound. I just worry about the guy digging into the box.
Well, it's up to him to be ready, or else he's going to have a pitch thrown and that'll be called a strike, as Verlander has an easy inning since that opening single by Adam Frazier, who he just retired. He's sent down 9 in a row. City uniforms. Head to the Astros team store to get your gear and see the on-field debut on Wednesday, April 20th. See the jersey and find your tickets today at astros.com/Space City.
Saw one of those hats coming back from the press dining.
Did you?
Yep, Astro fan had it.
Come on.
Right here in Seattle. It was beautiful. Yeah.
So
it's a good looking hat.
They just went on sale at FanFest last week.
The fans are on top of it, TK.
Wow.
They aren't wasting any time. Get the hat, get to a game.
So the hat, the new Nike Connect Space City hat, has made its way out to the Pacific Northwest.
It is in the building.
Nice. Here's Kyle Tucker leading off 4th inning baseball. Tucker had a little looping bloop hit his first time up, down the count here 0-2. Tucker career against the Mariners hitting over 300 with that single his first time up. Against Flexen, he's 4 for 8 with a double, but he's going to have to battle here. He's Flexen ahead of the count. It'll be Tucker, Yuli Gurriel, and Nico Goodrum for the Astros in the 4th. Tuck hit 2 home runs in 1 game this year. It was his first multi-home run game of his career, and it's the only home runs he's hit this season. Even on a cold night, Tucker still going with the no gloves.
Gamer.
Just never has felt comfortable wearing those batting gloves. Uses that dirt as his pine tar. And he goes down swinging. First strikeout for Flexen as he gets Tucker for the first out of the 4th.
He's been throwing a lot of cutters up and in to left-handed hitters. This one didn't stay in. I think if it would have stayed in, Tucker might have gotten to it. But you can see it just kind of backed up and stayed out over the plate. That front side opening up a little bit quick.
Here's Yuli Gurriel, who grounded out his first time up. Well, to your point about hitters and being ready in the box, there's not many like Yordan Alvarez who literally never leave the box.
That is true.
But there was a rule in place a few years ago where the batter had to at least have 1 foot in the box throughout the at bat until there's a foul ball.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I feel like that's gone by the wayside, right? Nobody does that anymore.
It's not enforced.
Yeah.
But now with a pitch clock, the hitter has to be ready.
It's got to, both sides have to be accountable.
Yuli's one of those guys that's pretty much digging in there. He obviously backed out on that pitch that went to the backstop. 2-0 pitch grounded towards short. J.P. Crawford makes the play, and Chris Flexen has retired 8 in a row. 2 away here in the 4th. Now a word from Jack in the Box.
Pop my $5.99 classic and spicy 50-50 popcorn chicken combo. Order on the Jack app today.
Astros lead 1-0. Nico Goodrum doubled to start the 2nd inning and came around to score the game's only run. It was Goodrum's first hit as an Astro. He's now 1 for 9 on the season. Nico takes a called strike. Nico getting a chance to DH today, coming over from the Tigers, where he hit .214 last year in 90 games. And when you're a new player not getting a chance to play on a regular basis, Goodrum didn't get an at bat since Sunday. Getting that first knockout of the way has to feel really good, especially when it leads to a run. How about the second knock? 2 for 2. Nico Goodrum on a 1-1 pitch goes the other way, and he's a 2-out base runner for the Astros. He has 2 of their 3 hits tonight.
Tell you what, Nico's putting on a clinic on staying back on the changeup. He gets a changeup right here instead of pulling it down the right field line like he did his first at bat. This one he sees, lets travel, hits it a little bit off the end of the bat, but a pretty good swing staying through it.
So Goodrum will be a 2-out base runner. He stole 14 bags last year for the Tigers in 19 attempts. Here's Chas McCormick. McCormick on the ground, backhanded by J.P. Crawford. His throw gets Chas for the final out of the inning. Strike out a couple of ground outs. Goodrum with a base hit. He's left on. Astros lead 1-0.
Celebrate the Astros 2021 American League Championship with the ALCS Ring Plan. Secure your tickets for every replica ring giveaway and collect all 8 throughout the season. Get your ring plan today at astros.com/ticketplans. Justin Verlander, after that last start, talked about just how good it felt and how he even had some nerves going into that first start since not pitching since 2020. And so this time around, probably a little bit more comfortable with his prep and just getting ready. But good to hear him talk about how healthy he felt after that last start. Now, you know, he wanted to see how he would respond, but immediately post-game, guys said felt no pain. Also liked the idea of pitching in that cooler weather, testing it out a little bit in Anaheim. Remember, that was the night it was a little cooler than the first couple of days. So all felt good, and then all reports were that he felt good in the days after that start.
Flair single by Ty France the other way as he leads off the 4th inning with a single to right. That's the first base runner since the first batter of the game.
Yeah, the slider tonight looks amazing for Justin Verlander. I know he just gave up a hit on that one. That was just a pretty good swing. by Ty France, who has a pretty good bat path. He'll stay through the zone pretty good. But those sliders are exactly on that outside black part of the plate.
12th batter that JB has faced, and he has thrown 10 of 11 first pitch strikes, including to Jesse Winker. His first time up, he would eventually strike out Winker on a called third. That one misses the top of the zone, 1-0. Well, this is the team the Mariners of Verlander pitched against July 24th of 2020, opening day in that pandemic shortened season. Then he would go 624 days until his next start came last week in Anaheim. Let's see, Winker pops one up. Out goes Pena. In comes Brantley. Brantley, the veteran, calls off the rook. And that's the first out. Seg, did you hear me? Just making sure.
How about StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud, showing you that fastball in red and then the slider behind it. Just to give you an idea, as a hitter, you're trying to hit off the fastball, so you're ready to hit 95. And the second you think you're on 95 and something comes out looking just like it, yet it's at 87.5 miles an hour. And guess what? It's also got some pretty good tilt to it, too. Gives you an idea of how much time you actually have to make that decision and pick that pitch up before you try and put a swing on it.
And that break, 3 feet 10 inch, feels like it's a larger break tonight. .88-mile-an-hour slider there to start him off with a swinging strike. A foul at the plate. 0-1 to Eugenio Suarez. Suarez struck out against Verlander his first time up. That is what he has done in all 4 appearances in his career against JB. Doesn't chase that fastball up. It's 1-1. Verlander's allowed 2 singles. He has struck out 4. He has not walked a batter. And he has been very good with his command. 3 out of every 4 pitches a strike tonight. Saw why the Astros shift on Suarez. People are asking on Twitter about the actual mechanics with PitchCom that we've seen Martin Maldonado use. What it does when he uses that mechanism that we showed you earlier is it not only tells Verlander the pitch, but also the location. And it's in a computerized voice, so it'll say fastball in or slider away or fastball up, all right there with Martin Maldonado holding the PitchCom device. It sends the signal into the headband area of Justin Verlander where he can hear it, and he's ready to go as soon as Martin punches that pitch in. Oh, give it to him. Yes, he did.
No doubt.
Greg Gibson says that's a called third strike, and that is strikeout number 5 for Verlander. Suarez continues to struggle against JV as he goes down looking for the second out.
I'm not even sure Eugenio Suarez got his feet comfortable in the box before he was walking back to the dugout. That was a great sequence for Justin Verlander to put Suarez away quickly.
What about your point in between innings too, with the combination of Justin Verlander and Martin Maldonado using PitchCom?
Well, you know, you always look to the veterans for guidance and seeing what they're doing and how they handle situations. I think it's very interesting that you've got a veteran in Maldonado and a veteran in Justin Verlander using the PitchCom. I mean, this is high tech, and these guys are using it. And I'm sure there's other youngsters in that dugout right now for the Astros going, Cy Young's using it? I think I'm going to get in on this action.
It works for a Hall of Famer. Why not me?
Yeah, right?
And obviously Maldy's getting more and more comfortable with it and will continue to as each game progresses. Last night was his first try. Odorizzi said there was a couple of issues sometimes when the crowd got loud. It's not a sellout tonight, so it should be a little easier for Verlander to hear those signals. One pitch is down and in with the slider, 2-1.
It's actually the curveball.
Is that a curve?
Yeah, 79 miles an hour. You haven't seen too many of those from Justin.
It's been mostly fastball slider tonight.
Yeah, it was only the 6th curveball.
There you go. J.P. Crawford, like Suarez, has struggled against Verlander in his career. 0 for 6. He has 3 strikeouts in those 6 ABs. This one on the ground. Yuli is there, and that will do it for the 4th inning. Yuli Gurriel, the nice backhand play to get J.P. Crawford. A single, one man left on base. We're through 4. 1-0 Astros.
A beautiful sight of both Lumen Field and T-Mobile Park on your right as you move up Puget Sound towards downtown. And here we are inside the ballpark. Is it a brisk evening, or is it just flat out cold?
Both brisk and cold.
I think it was 44 at game time.
I believe you're right.
Woo.
I haven't seen the JMI yet, but I know she is a little bit more layered up than even last night. As we have J.P. Crawford, or we have Jeremy Pena at the plate. They're saying J.P. Crawford on the board, and they're showing Chaz McCormick.
Yeah, there's all kinds of nonsense going up there.
Confusion going on the big screen here in center field. Chris Flexen will face Jeremy Pena.
Well, Jeremy Pena is technically a JP. Kinda, right?
Well played.
Yeah.
There you go. JP, this one, Jeremy Pena, not the JP for the Mariners shortstop. Had a sac fly his first time up. It was a second RBI of his young career to go along with that solo home run he had against the Angels. Chris Flexen so far has allowed 3 Astros hits. He's walked 1 and allowed 1 run. Pena with a sac fly, scoring the only run. Also had a fine defensive play. This little 772 OPS here in his first road trip of his big league career. This is that pitch. It's 1-2. Astros playing game 8 of 9 on this road trip. They're starting out the season with their longest road trip of the year. They're 4-1 to start the trip. They've lost their last 2. Now 4-3 with a game tonight and a game tomorrow afternoon. Astros will wrap up this road trip with Jose Urquidy on the mound.
Yes. 2 getaway games on this trip with Jose Urquidy.
Urquidy wrapped up the series in Anaheim, and now he'll wrap up the series and this road trip in Seattle.
Getting spoiled.
Matt Brash, very talented young right-hander, will be his opponent tomorrow. It'll be our first look at him.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what he can bring. Highly touted prospect, just like Jeremy Pena, as you see some of his favorites.
Tried to hold up on a pitch up. He does, and the count goes to 3-2. It'll be Pena, Martin Maldonado, and Jose Altuve here in the 5th. Fans at home will finally get a chance to see their young shortstop on Monday night. Home opener at Minute Maid Park. Astros players haven't been back in H-Town in over a month since the lockout ended. Up the middle, Jeremy Pena with a base hit. Good battle right there, won by the rookie shortstop Pena. He has a single to go along with a sac fly tonight.
A couple of good at bats today already for Jeremy Pena, flying out to deep center for that sac fly, and the only run of this game. Here he does a good job. Watch his hands as he gets his hands up to the level of the baseball and really gets the barrel to it and shoots it back up the middle. That was nice to see.
Pena with the base hit. He's a leadoff base runner for Martin Maldonado. Maldonado grounded out to short his first time up. Maldi looking for his first hit on the season. Takes one on the outside corner for a strike. Last year when Maldi got off to a tough start, he was striking out a little bit. This year he's been putting the bat on the ball primarily, but just hasn't found any open space. He has 3 walks and 3 strikeouts on the season. That ball drilled deep to left field. Martin Maldonado, first hit of the year, is a 2-run home run, and the Astros lead this game 3-0.
Attaboy Maldi. Got himself a hanging cutter, center cut, and he smashed it.
Hit a dozen home runs last year. That's his first of the season. And that's a big one for this Astros offense that has been looking for some big swings lately.
Yeah, they finally got one off the bat of their catcher, Martin Maldonado.
So 3-0 lead now. Back we go to the top of the order, and a big hug for Maldi after that home run. Here's Jose Altuve, line drive, but right there in the shift is Adam Frazier, and Altuve's thinking that's a pretty nice swing right there that I get nothing for it. How about Maldi's swing?
Maldi's home run set off fireworks over at Lumen Field. Nicely done.
The Sounder scored at the same time,
I guess. I know he hit it a long way, but I didn't know he was scoring goals with it.
Cool. Soccer is huge here in Seattle. Here's Michael Brantley taking one outside for a ball. Brantley has had a couple of nice plays against him tonight. One by Adam Frazier in the first inning, and one by J.P. Crawford in the third. Michael with a 2-0 count. So Martin Maldonado, 2-run home run into the Astros bullpen. Makes it a 3-0 game. This one in the air, slicing away from Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez, a great diving play. Michael Brantley could be 3 for 3 tonight, but the Mariners defense has been outstanding against him.
Seeing some young talent between Jeremy Pena and Julio Rodriguez, making some great plays on defense. Winker was never in the picture in left field. It was just Julio Rodriguez tracking down this ball that was slicing away from him. Another great swing from Michael Brantley, but nothing to show for it because the young man went out, laid out, and made a great catch. It's been a history of some pretty good outfielders, especially in center field in Seattle Mariner history, and one of them actually used to wear number 44.
That's right.
A good friend Michael Cameron. Yeah.
24 and 44 preceding this 44 haven't been too bad out there in center.
You are correct.
Mike Cameron can go get him. Alex Bregman, the hitter.
Yeah, Mike Cameron was one of the best. Probably the best center fielder. I have to go back and look, but just off the top of my head, probably the best center fielder I ever had the chance to play on the same team with. I had the misfortune of playing against guys like Andrew Jones and Jim Edmonds, but on the same team, Mike Cameron was the guy.
Greg Gibson's opened up that outside corner here against Alex Bregman on a couple of calls. It's 1-2. And now Daz Cameron, the Tigers organization. That one down low, 2-2. Astros lead 3-0. Martin Maldonado, a 2-run home run. Helping out Justin Verlander here. Now Alex batting with 2 outs and nobody on. And he goes down swinging. Just the second strikeout for Flexen, but the Astros take a 3-0 lead.
On a big swing from Martin Maldonado. First hit of the season. He makes this one count for 2. Hanging cutter. No chance. Barreled up. Choice. 3-0. Verlander on the mound. Pitch usage changing a little bit tonight. Much heavier use on that slider. Mostly because it's been very effective. It had good sharp break. The location has been great on it. Last time out he threw that curveball about 4% more, but now altering his repertoire a little bit and getting heavier on that slider and pulling back on the fastball.
Abraham Toro, who looped one into shallow left his first time up, hits one a little higher up in the air this time, where Michael Brantley has time to get under it for the first out of the 5th inning. The best in Texas power pitcher driven by Ford. We mentioned Justin Verlander. His one and only start in 2020 was against the Mariners. He also debuted as an Astro back in 2017 against the Mariners. And then on September 5th, he would wrap up the American League West Division title. The first of a string of 4 out of 5 years for Houston with this 6-inning, 1-run performance as the Astros would win the AL West and go on to win the World Series. JV was named ALCS MVP that postseason. So he's had a lot of big moments against Seattle in his career. 16-9 in 31 career starts against Seattle, including 6-1 as an Astro. Here's Jared Kelenic. Kelenic pops one way up in the air. Who wants it? Alex Bregman calls off Jeremy Pena. And Justin Verlander continues to pound the zone and get early outs. 2 outs here in the 5th.
Yeah, he's showing a great example of what we talk about when you say be aggressive in the zone, but he's making so many quality pitches on the edges. So as a hitter, when you walk up there, you go up there with the intent. He's throwing a lot of strikes. I've got to be ready to hit on pitch 1, but at the same time, he's not really giving you anything to hit. He is making these hitters hit his pitches. That's why he's been so effective.
Now going against the young outfielder, 21-year-old Julio Rodriguez, who struck out looking his first time up. Rodriguez has struck out a bunch here in his first week and a half in the big leagues. That's now 14 strikeouts on the season for him. As he swings through that fastball, it's 1-1. A lot of those strikeouts have been called third strike. Rodriguez 26 at bats now, and more than half of those have resulted in a strikeout. This is the 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and Verlander ahead 1-2.
Challenging, just going right after Julio. Some late life on that. 96.
The cool thing about the pitch comp too is Maldi can totally deke a hitter because he's given the pitch and the location, so he can pretend like he wants it low when he knows that he's already called for a high fastball.
Yep.
So catcher doesn't have to worry about where he's setting up. He knows exactly what the pitcher has heard, and now Maldi will kind of sneak outside. And why not with that slider away? Rodriguez goes down for the second time on strikes. Verlander has 6 strikeouts, a 1-2-3 5th. He has retired 6 in a row and has only allowed 2 hits so far. Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Fubo TV. Stream the Astros on AT&T Sportsnet with Fubo TV. Visit FuboTV.com for a free trial. One thing I'm noticing about a lot of Astros gear here in Seattle, it's either on top of some heavier warm gear or it's underneath a jacket, but they want to show it off because there's not much Astros heavy warm gear to be bought.
Were you with us when Alex Cintron had to coach first base?
Yes.
remember what he looked like in Chicago?
Yes.
That's what those videos remind me of. They actually look thinner than Carlos did, or than Alex did when he was out there. I think he had every ounce of clothing that Carl Schneider could wrangle up, and he was wearing it under his uniform.
He definitely looked like about 25 pounds heavier than he actually is in that series. As Kyle Tucker sends one to center field, that'll send Julio Rodriguez back. He eases up as he gets to the edge of the warning track, and Tucker is out here, fly out to deep center. How many layers does Julia Morales have on tonight?
Oh man.
43, temperature dropping. The forecast
Rapidly.
is for holiday weather. Tonight's Julia Morales index, the JMI in Seattle.
I can't believe I put together a cute outfit that I was going to wear. No one's going to see my blazer that I'm wearing tonight. That's 4 layers underneath my parka.
Yuli, first pitch swinging, sends one to right field. So there's a cute blazer underneath all these layers.
But
I have a nice blazer on tonight. No one's seeing it. It's way too cold for a blazer. Well, when I packed 3 weeks ago, guys.
and you had the jacket on early today. It was cold.
I did. Yesterday I was trying not to, but this is not a good look over here.
How do we get a message to anybody down there to bring you a hot cup of tea or
I've
something?
had a few. Just keep
Good.
them coming. They cool off so fast.
I know.
So the hood, we're going to the hood tonight.
Yeah, we got a hood and a beanie.
I still have my earmuffs.
There you go.
TK's got the beanie on.
Yeah, it's cold up here. Two for 2 is Nico Goodrum as he steps in there. Swings through that pitch. It's 1-1.
I've got my hair product to keep in my head warm. The rubber cement.
And puffy jacket.
Oh, yeah, the puffy jacket. The down jacket is doing an incredible job.
How about the team issued jackets down
Yeah.
here? Those look warm.
Those things are show, too. They look good.
Dusty rolled out. He's got his hoodie on with that over it. With the beanie.
Dusty was saying before the game he hates cold weather. Goodrum goes down swinging. 1-2-3 inning for Flexen. He has been good the last 6 batters, retiring all 6 after the Maldonado home run.
Latest phenom adjusts to life in the big leagues. Julia talks with Ben Verlander about Big Brother's return to the team, and the new City Connect uniforms are out of this world. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the post-game show and all season long, only on AT&T Sportsnet.
Justin Verlander facing 9-1-2 in the Mariners lineup as he starts the bottom half of the 6th inning, and Cal Raleigh picks on the first pitch and sends a high fly ball to right field, playable for Kyle Tucker. Tucker in front of the warning track by about 5 feet, puts it away for out number 1. We mentioned all the big moments for Justin Verlander against the Seattle Mariners, including 7 innings of 1-run baseball, striking out 10 as the Astros clinched the AL West just 12 days after his Astros debut here at T-Mobile Park on September the 5th. Verlander was outstanding, and Carlos Correa did the rest offensively as the Astros would go on to win the first of what would be 4 out of 5 years in JV ALCS MVP. Astros eventually going on to win the World Series. Kind of a crazy sequence there right at the end of August into early September, because the Astros were traveling around, not sure when they were going to get back home coming off of Hurricane Harvey. They were in Texas for a while. They eventually played that series at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida against the Rangers. The Astros returned home to face the New York Mets. First day of that 3-game series was delayed by a day. They played a doubleheader on the 2nd after they had kind of a community day on the 1st. And then JV was pitching here just a few days later on September 5th.
How about some league leaders presented by Houston Methodist? Justin Verlander, 20 starts on the road versus American League West. Since being with the Astros, that loss on his first start of the 2022 season is the first loss in that Astros uniform on the road against the AL West. 16-1 with a 2.69 and a sub-1 whip. He has been absolutely incredible. The overall record, 17-3.
And he took that loss, giving up 1 run in 5 innings. Astros failed to score for him that night against Noah Syndergaard, and bullpen arms for the Angels, a 2-0 loss. Verlander hasn't pitched against anybody other than the West in a while, as Ty France shoots one in center field. Chaz thought about going for a diving attempt. Instead, he plays it on 1 hop with a bare hand. And France has his 2nd consecutive hit against Verlander, a single to center field.
Pretty good swing by Ty France on a very good slider. It's a guy that went up there with an idea about that slider. Kind of loses the lower half a little bit, but his hands do a very good job of catching up to that.
France with 2 of the 3 hits for the Mariners. He's a 2-out base runner. Now Jesse Winker will bat. Winker has struck out looking and flied out to left. There's a nice breaking ball. That curveball drops in for a strike. 0-1. Verlander still at a very good pitch count as we play here with 2 outs in the 6th inning. About to throw pitch number 65 on the night. He threw 80 pitches in his 5 innings of work against the Angels. Had 3 walks in that mix and struck out 7. Tonight he has struck out 6 without a walk. And he gets ahead of Winker. 0-2. Back-to-back breaking balls get Winker down to the count.
It's hammer time for Winker. Back-to-back curveballs. The first one a little bit more of a get me over. This one a power one down out of the zone.
Got him. 3-pitch strikeout. Verlander gets Jesse Winker. Strikeout number 7 on the night. A base hit, 1 man left on base. Justin Verlander in command tonight with the Astros leading 3-0.
Friday, April 22nd, as they take on the Toronto Blue Jays. 10,000 fans will take home their own Alex Bregman Colt 45's throwback jersey presented by Coca-Cola. Enjoy the game and giveaway. Find tickets at astros.com/promotions. Throwing it back next Friday.
I like it. 3-0 as we head to the 7th inning. Astros scoring 3 on the starter Chris Flexen the first 6 innings. Flexen has left the game as the Mariners go to their bullpen here in the 7th inning.
Festa in 3 games has a 5.40 ERA. His whip is under 1. A pretty good strike to walk ratio considering he has 7 strikeouts and no walks. Had Tommy John surgery and coming back in 2019 was the last time he pitched in the big leagues. Averaged 93 miles an hour on his fastball. Primarily went to that slider as his secondary pitch. Can flip the curveball in there.
How about that xFIP?
Take that, huh? Ooh. Is that what you call bad luck?
Just 3 games in, he has not had any luck. He'll throw a lot of sliders to righties. Chas McCormick, Jeremy Pena, Martin Maldonado. 3 righties face Matt Festa. Festa delivers a fastball for a strike. So Chris Flexen leaves with his team down 3-0. 4 career starts against the Astros. His teams are 0-4, and the Astros trying to keep that string intact tonight. Martin Maldonado with the big blast, a 2-run home run against Flexen. Festa last year split time between High A and Triple A Tacoma. Gets ahead of McCormick 1-2. Chaz is flied out and grounded out. And misses the fastball there. Strikeout number 1 on the first batter for Matt Festa.
All right, it's time to play Name That Astro, presented by Reliant. Gonna pop some clues in there for you. 19-year-old prospect, Latin World Series hero. What's up, Josefa? If you know who that Astro is, powered by Reliant, make sure you go to @ATT Sportsnet SW and tell us who you think that Astro is, and make sure you stay tuned because we will reveal that Astro.
So 8 strikeouts now, the 13 batters faced this year for Festa. As he'll now face Jeremy Pena. Pena, good night, a sac fly driving in the game's first run. Also a single and a run scored ahead of the 2-run home run by Martin Maldonado. had a fine defensive play, and it's been an all-around good night for Pena, who takes a pitch outside for ball one. Astros leading 3-0 tonight. They have not had a big offensive game this year, with the lone exception of that game on the 8th, the second game of the season, when they scored 13. Averaging just 2 runs a game in the other 6, with their second highest total being a 4-run game. That one up and in, and it's 3-0 to Pena. But tonight, 3 runs has been plenty to work with for Justin Verlander, who has a 3-hit shutout going through 6, and his pitch count is in great order so far at 65 pitches. .30 take.
See if Festa brings the fastball again. He did. Must be some deception in that delivery from Festa. Seeing some takes and late swings on that fastball.
Pena took 3-0 and 3-1. Now the count's full. Pena sends one to deep right center field. All the way back Rodriguez, and he will watch it bounce off the wall. Pena's thinking about 3. Number 3 is going to have his first triple, and he's 2 for 2 tonight. Jeremy Pena have a night offensively and defensively.
Trey with the tray. It was exciting, and the ball is jumping off his bat this evening here in Seattle. Did a good job of seeing a couple of fastballs, getting one down, and going right back up the middle with it, and did such a good job of squaring it up that it was tailing away and shot in between Rodriguez and Kelenic out there in right field. And as soon as he saw that down, there was no doubt in his mind that he was going to head for third base, and he gets in standing up. Pretty impressive.
First triple on the season for the Astros, and the first triple of Pena's career. Now Martin Maldonado bats with the infield in and 1 out with a runner on third. Maldonado doesn't like that call from Greg Gibson. He's down on the count 0-1. Aldi with his first hit his last time up, a 2-run home run to left. Maldonado with his 3rd RBI in as many games. He had an RBI on Wednesday in Arizona and 2 more tonight in game 2 of the series. That might have been a better pitch than the first one, but either way, he's got a 1-1 count. Pena on third after his first career triple, 1 out. Lots of sliders here in this AB. It's 1-2.
Yeah, he's trying to avoid the barrel of Maldonado with that runner at third base. Try and create soft contact and keep the ball in the infield. Hopefully he makes a mistake right here, and Maldi can drive it somewhere to the outfield and pick up Pena. Tell you what, the Astro hitters do not like the pace of Matthew Festa. Keep stepping out, making him reset.
After throwing all those sliders, he had Maldi cheating and throws a fastball up and in.
Just over the hands. Wow. Thankfully that did not get the hands of Martin.
sweeping slider misses off the plate, and now the count's 3-2 to Maldonado with Altuve on deck. Off the plate, good take by Maldonado, would not leave the zone on those 2 strike pitches. And the Astros have runners on first and second with 1 out.
Great at bat by Maldi.
That was a quality walk right there after getting down in the count on a couple of sliders. Meaning on the mound now, time for a message from TXU. Pitching coach Pete Woodworth having a word with Matt Festa. 29-year-old righty with runners on first and third and 1 out. Festa will face Jose Altuve here in a 3-0 game. Altuve looking for his first hit. He has flied out, grounded to short, and also hit a line drive to the second baseman Adam Frazier in the shift. Altuve with runners on first and third. The Mariners push their infield back. Altuve generally gets off to a pretty good start and then heats up as the summer comes along.
Yeah, he really does in that June and July. You can tell he gets a little exhausted from carrying the team in August and September and let some of the other guys jump in on the action, but still phenomenal numbers throughout his career, month to month.
Low from Festa, and the count's 2-0.
And that's what I was talking about before the game, is this guy could struggle for the first week of the season, then all of a sudden he could be hitting 309 by the end of the month. Just explode and just get 2-3 hits a night.
Good spot for him here in a 2-0 count. Fastball for a strike. Festa out of East Stroudsburg. Highest draft pick in East Stroudsburg University history. Made his debut with the Mariners in 2018. Pitched with them in 18-19 and then had Tommy John. Spent the season in the minors last year. 2-1 on Altuve. Lefty up in the bullpen for Michael Brantley. Altuve into center field, falling quickly. That's a base hit. In to score comes Pena, and the Astros now lead 4-0. Jose Altuve, an RBI single to center field.
Attaboy Tuve. Good swing. Good at bat, laid off a couple of pitches, forced the pitcher back in the zone, and he actually did a very good job of getting that foot down on time, recognizing the pitch and taking that slider on the outside, maybe the outside third, and just going right back up the middle with it. That's what we were talking about early on. Hopefully that's the one that sparks Altuve and gets him going. Great swing.
Altuve's third run batted in on the season, and the Astros now lead 4-0. After an initial strikeout by Matt Festa, the Astros with a triple, a walk, and an RBI single. Out of the dugout comes the manager, Scott Service. The former Astros catcher will take the ball from Matt Festa, and they'll go to the lefty to face Michael Brantley here. So we have a pitching change. So you read that after I read it?
Oh yeah, you better believe we're going to Crawford Bach the shit out of this thing.
So it's a double read.
After you come back with your Crawford Bach. Time now for the call to the bullpen. It's presented by Crawford Bach. There you see the left-hander, Justice Sheffield. Last season, 21 games, 15 starts. In his career, he's been used primarily as a starter. 32 starts of 43 career appearances. But last season, his ERA at 6.83, yet the xFIP was at 2.49. So a little bit of unluckiness for him. 63 walks to 43, or 63 strikeouts to 43 walks. He is a fastball, slider, changeup, left-handed pitcher.
Well, Sheffield will face Michael Brantley as the first hitter, with runners on first and second and 1 out in the inning. Astros getting a run home on Matt Festa. Festa responsible for the 2 runners on. Brantley has hit in some tough luck tonight. He's been robbed 3 times. Great play by Adam Frazier in the first, a nice play by J.P. Crawford in the third, and a great play by the young center fielder Julio Rodriguez in the 5th inning. But Brantley is due for a little flare to fall in somewhere. And he sends one to left field. Backing up a couple of steps and making the play is Jesse Winker. Well, Mike on one pitch flies out to left field for the second out of the inning. Now Sheffield will face Alex Bregman. Sheffield began his career with the Yankees, who was part of the James Paxton trade. That brought him here to Seattle, and he's pitched for the Mariners now each of the last 4 seasons. Bregman has walked, flied out, and struck out. Takes a pitch down low for a ball. Alex still leads the team and runs batted in with 7. Had 6 of those in the series against the Angels and picked up American League Player of the Week last week. Good stop by Cal Raleigh on a pitch in the dirt. 2-0 to Alex Bregman. Sheffield's been involved in a couple of big trades in his career. He was moved here in the James Paxton deal. He was originally moved from Cleveland to the Yankees in the Andrew Miller trade. Now 25-year-old. Almost hits Alex there. Count goes to 3-0. Well, Sheffield with Kyle Tucker on deck has a 3-0 count on Bregman. But Maldonado on second and Altuve on first. There's a strike. Bregman draws his second walk of the night. Astros will load up the bases with 2 outs in the inning, and Kyle Tucker will face the lefty Sheffield. Second walk of this inning allowed by Mariners pitching, 3rd in the game. Festa walked 1, the starter Flexen walked 1, and now Justice Sheffield walks Bregman. Well, Tuck will bat with the bases full. 1-0 to Tucker. Kyle has looped a single, struck out, and flied out to deep left.
I think Maldonado's having a conversation with the dugout on whether or not he should steal home.
What do you think the reply is?
Got a pretty healthy lead.
And what do you think the reply is?
Well, I know what Dusty would say. If I'm Maldy's teammate, I'm saying go for it.
Come on.
Look at this. There is nobody within 30 feet of him. He could walk home right now. He could beat Justice Sheffield to third and home. Do it.
You're gutsy.
Do it.
2-0 to Tuck. There's a strike. 2-1. He is all by himself, though. It's kind of funny to see him out there on an island.
He's like, I'm going. Love it. The interaction these guys have is great.
A little pushback. Tucker hard hit ground ball, but right into the shift. Adam Frazier is there. That will do it for the Astros in the 7th inning. They leave the bases loaded, but they tack on a run, a triple by Pena, and an RBI single by Jose Altuve. Astros lead 4-0, 7th inning stretch time. We're going to check in with Kevin Eschenfelder in the Rooms to Go Lounge.
Falls on. How about Jeremy Pena doing a great job tonight at the plate, but what he's done on defense has been nothing short of remarkable. Doing a great job. 3 outs above average, tied for first in Major League Baseball for shortstops. And that plus 11% success rate takes into account the plays he should make, and he's done 11% better. So doing a great job at shortstop, and we've actually seen him execute tonight on some very good plays, ranging well to his right, traveling about 88 feet at about 29 feet per second, showing the range. So a lot of fun watching the development of Jeremy Pena right here at the big leagues, doing it both on offense and defense.
It's been an impressive night for the young shortstop. Astros head to the bottom half of the 7th inning, leading 4-0. An extended top half of the inning on a cold night. See how JV responds after a little bit of a long wait. He thought that first pitch should have been called a strike, didn't get the call. So he's 1-0 on Eugenio Suarez, who has struck out twice tonight, and all 5 times he has faced Verlander in his career. This time he puts the ball in play, but right at the center fielder Chas McCormick, who moves a few steps to his left and puts it away for the first out.
How about a StatCast 3D of that catch, showing you the distance he's moving. Started on the second base side of second base and ranged 90.2 feet, and there's that speed at 29 feet per second. Kind of a cool animation to give you a really good idea of how far he traveled to make that great play.
They even showed the little celebration after the catch.
It's kind of cool.
That was awesome. Here's J.P. Crawford.
Apparently I'm pulling out all the tricks tonight.
Here's a called strike. J.P. Crawford has grounded to Yuli twice. Astros have 3 on the right side of the infield, knowing that Crawford is prone to pull the ball on the ground. Here you see Pena towards the middle of the diamond and Altuve on the right side. Verlander looking great tonight. 0-2 on J.P. Crawford. 70 pitches, 52 of them have been strikes. See Bregman, the lone guy on the left side, where 16% of those grounders go. Yuli's been busy with Crawford batting. Mariners bullpen back up. They've already used 3 pitchers tonight. The Astros haven't had 1 bullpen pitch thrown all night, and why would you with Verlander's pitch count where it is? That is the right-hander Eric Swanson warming up. Verlander allowing a single to Adam Frazier, first batter of the game, and 2 more hits tonight to tie France, and that's it. Until that, that's the 4th base runner of the night. J.P. Crawford hit by a pitch with 1 out here in the 7th. time he's been hit in the series.
He keeps sticking that knee out there. He's going to have to take it. He just kind of let that knee stay out there and wait for the connection as that slider was coming in. Probably doesn't feel good on a night like this.
He got hit by 5 pitches all of last year and has been hit by 3 pitches in the 2 games in this series. Here's Abraham Toro. Ground ball towards Altuve. Altuve to Pena for 1, and Jeremy makes the turn for the double play. Justin Verlander through 7 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball. He's only thrown 74 pitches, and the Astros lead 4-0.
Got the results from tonight's Chevy Stroh poll. Thanks for voting on Twitter last night. Astros using PitchCom today, using PitchCom. We saw it as well with JV and Maldonado. We wanted to know where you were on this, and 45% of you are thinking you need a little more info on it. But 34% saying yes, go for it. What do you guys think?
I'm trying to give them info.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of more, the learning process. Maybe talk to the guys and see what kind of info they've got on actually using it. It'll be kind of interesting.
I think it was a good poll, Julia. Anytime you get 3 votes, all 20% or more. But yeah, there's a lot of benefits to the new PitchCom system, and we're trying to teach along the way as to what exactly is involved there. Both teams using it last night. Here's Yuli Gurriel fouling one back against the new pitcher for the Mariners, Eric Swanson.
Only a couple of games under his belt so far this season. 2 1/3 innings pitched. 6 ERA against the Astros in 2 games last season. Fastballs in the mid-90s, changeup and slider.
Yuli sends one to left field. Jesse Winker, the left fielder, will put it away. Out number 1 here in the 8th inning. Every Tuesday night is Dollar Dog Night at Minute Maid Park. Enjoy dollar hot dogs all game long every Tuesday night throughout the season. Visit Astros.com/dollardogs to get your tickets to next Tuesday's game today. Astros and Angels opening up the home schedule at Minute Maid Park on Monday. Dollar Dog Night on Tuesday. The new Nike Connect jerseys on Wednesday. Possibly a Shohei Ohtani start on Wednesday. Should be a fun series. Astros and Angels coming up beginning on Monday. Then an off day on Thursday, and then the Toronto Blue Jays will be in town. That could be a matchup of 2 teams that end up seeing each other again in the postseason. Astros have bullpen action going for the first time tonight. We mentioned Verlander's pitch count is in very good order, but it's also early in the year. He's already had 7 up-downs, having pitched 7 innings, and Phil Maton is warming up and may get the ball in the 8th inning in this 4-0 contest. Verlander currently at 73 pitches. Nico Goodrum, who's having a good night. 2 for 3, a double, a run scored, and a single his first 2 times up. Struck out his last time. He's 1-2 here on Swanson. Against Swanson. A little different look now to the back end of the Astros bullpen. Astros having to place their closer Ryan Presley on the injured list today. Has right knee inflammation. So he goes on the IL today, and they bring up another lefty in their bullpen, Parker Mashinsky. When he appears in a game, will make his major league debut. A Texas Tech guy out of Argyle High School in Texas. Just arrived in Seattle today and suited up with the team. 2-2 the count. So Presley down for at least 10 days on the IL with knee inflammation. Dusty mentioned he could go to possibly Hector Neris, possibly Ryan Stanek, possibly Rafael Montero to close out games. Maton may still be that setup guy. Swing and a miss. Goodrum goes down. Strikeout number 1 for Swanson. He has retired the first 2 batters here in the 8th. if Verlander has finished his night. He actually threw fewer pitches tonight in 7 innings than he did in 5 innings against the Angels. Threw 80 pitches in that first start tonight. Very efficient, 73 through 7.
Considering it took him 80 pitches to get through 5 innings against the Angels.
Chas McCormick with a swinging strike. Chas 0 for 3 tonight. There is JV. And a long break going into the 7th inning. Down on the count 0-2. Chas hasn't hit in all 5 of his starts before tonight. Might be his final opportunity to keep that streak alive. Down on the count here 0-2. Astros have 7 hits. They've out-hit the Mariners 7-3. Jeremy Pena got the scoring going with a sac fly, scoring Nico Goodrum, who doubled to start the inning, and then Martin Maldonado made it 3-0 on a 2-run home run in the 5th. McCormick pops one up foul, giving it a look. Ty France near his dugout, and he puts it away. Eric Swanson, a 1-2-3. Top half of the 8th inning. Verlander is coming back out for more. He will pitch the bottom half of the 8th in this 4-0 game.
Game summary, and it's going to be a lot of Justin Verlander. What a night it has been so far for the right-hander, making a 2nd start of the season. Here in Seattle, he made quick work of the Mariners early on and just continued to work through this lineup. 7 strikeouts through 7 scoreless. He has been in complete control of this game, and he is through 7, like I said, with 73 pitches, and he's ready to go here in the 8th. TK.
He is ready, facing Jared Kelnick, who takes a pitch a little bit low for a ball. Verlander has had outstanding command throughout the night. His strike-to-ball ratio has been good throughout the night, over 70%. Currently 54 out of 74 pitches for strikes. Just misses low with that curveball. It's 2-0. A rare 2-0 count tonight for JV, who's been ahead of most hitters. Kelnick has struck out and popped up. Three singles and a hit batter allowed so far tonight for Verlander. The Mariners haven't had anybody reach second base.
You want to hear something cool?
Yeah.
Getting through 7 puts him at exactly 3,000 innings in his career.
How about that?
He is the 89th pitcher to do that since 1920.
How about that?
Just milestones racking up for Justin Verlander, and probably doing it in dramatic fashion tonight. Being hyper efficient with the fastball and that incredible slider.
Well, as long as he pitches, he will forever be linked to Abraham Toro with that 3rd no-hitter that we showed you earlier. This ball drilled deep to right field. Tucker near the wall will make the catch in front of the wall, right near that hit it here sign, as he puts it away for out number 1.
There you go, reaching a milestone tonight. 7 1/3 after that fly ball out. No runs, 7 strikeouts, 0 walks. This is a beautiful line for Justin Verlander so far in this ball game. 75 pitches, 55 of them have been strikes, and he eclipses the 3,000 career innings pitched mark.
And so he'll forever be linked with Toro with that no-hitter, with the home run in the play to end the game, and now he'll forever be linked with Toro for getting to 3,000 innings with a double play as an opponent.
He has been a part of some milestones for Justin Verlander.
Here's Julio Rodriguez, who has looked at a called 3rd strike and Struck out swinging his last time up. Verlander with 7 strikeouts tonight. Verlander joins his former teammate Zach Greinke in the 3,000 club, the only active members in that category. So congrats to JV for another milestone in a Hall of Fame career. Big swing, no contact, 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 1-2. The velocity continues to be impressive. Both starts coming off Tommy John surgery. Verlander went 5 innings in his first start, working into the 8th tonight. This is the deepest any starter has gone this year for the Astros. Try to slow him up with a breaking ball. Rodriguez stayed alive. Verlander has struck out Winker twice, struck out Suarez twice, struck out Rodriguez twice. Those are 6 of his 7 strikeouts. Astros sat the bullpen down after that inning was over. Phil Maton was warming up while the Astros were hitting. But then once the inning ended, Verlander came back out there, and nobody has been warming up in this inning. Called third strike. Rung up on the outside corner. Rodriguez has struck out 3 times, and JV has 8 strikeouts on the night.
Slider's been working all night for Justin Verlander, and he's throwing nothing but great pitches to Julio Rodriguez, who's had a tough night. That one right on the edge. Rookie at the plate, veteran on the mound. Guess who gets the call? Justin Verlander. 8th punch out of the night.
Strikeout number 3,028 in his illustrious career. In inning number 3,001. Here's Cal Raleigh, who has flied out a couple of times, once to left and once to right. Counts 1-1. Verlander 80 pitches last start. Right now in the mid-80s as we play here in the 8th inning.
He has been so sharp all night long. We're in the 8th inning. That was the 87th pitch, and that thing just bit down in the bottom part of the zone. Sorry, 86th pitch.
On the ground, the shortstop Jeremy Pena is there. Vintage Justin Verlander tonight. 8 innings, 3 hit, shutout baseball. A nod to Greg Gibson as we're through 8 in a 4-0 game.
Clues, 19-year-old prospect, Latin World Series hero. What's up, Josefa? Who could that Astro be? Of course, Jose Urquidy. Signed at the age of 19 as a non-drafted free agent. Became the 2nd Mexican-born pitcher to win a game in the World Series. And owns a pet pig named Josefa with his wife. So the pig is having a good time at the ranch, apparently, because it's gotten rather large.
Mucho grande.
CC.
70 to 80 pounds. Wow. What I'm hearing. Hey, how about the reaction here? Justin Verlander walking off the mound last half inning. That's a big hug from his manager, and what a night it was for the 39-year-old who looks as good as he ever has.
That was outstanding. That is going to go a long way. Even Justin Verlander at this point in his career, but 2nd start back from Tommy John surgery, that is going to build some kind of confidence in that right arm of Justin Verlander. He was absolutely incredible. He went after the Seattle Mariners like Elon Musk went after Twitter.
Right at him.
Just guns a-blazing.
How about Jeremy Pena's night as he shoots one to left field? This ball's going to bounce off the base of the wall. Pena has a single and a triple. Add a double to that. He is 3 for 3 with a sac fly. Have a night, young man.
Gonna have to get him another at bat. And how about in his first at bat, he almost went yard.
Could have had the cycle.
Yeah. Swinging a hot bat on a cold night. Not waiting around, gets a fastball that he can handle and drops the barrel to it. See some of that electricity in that swing. That is smooth, easy power. 110.3 off the bat. Wow.
How about his third 3-hit night of his career? He's only played 8 games. That's pretty solid.
It is solid.
3 3-hit games already for Pena. Here's Martin Maldonado. Maldonado with a big swing in the 5th inning turned a 1-0 game into a 3-0 lead, and the way JV was going, 3 runs was a lot tonight. Also added a walk to his night, his last time up.
Here's the All-State mayhem moment. That big swing that Todd was talking about. You hang it, he'll bang it. Knocking that one out of the park for the first hit of the season. 2-run jack for Martin Maldonado. A couple of veteran battery mates getting after it tonight between Justin Verlander and Martin Maldonado.
Maldonado sends this one to right field, slicing. Kelenic giving it a look, but that's into the 3rd row of the crowd. Good crowd on a cold Saturday night. 38,504 tonight here at T-Mobile Park. How about the bottom of the order, the 8-9 hitters?
Yeah, Ocho Nueve getting after it. 4 hits between them. A couple of runs scored for Jeremy Pena. Being driven in by Martin on that 2-run home run. We always talk about the lineup depth of the Houston Astros. And every once in a while, you're going to get some lightning at the bottom part. Can't just waltz through this lineup. These guys are coming up trying to do some damage.
How about Maldi fighting it off, trying to get the runner advanced, hits one to the right side, and Pena thought about tagging after Jared Kelenic went to the ground. It was a good idea, but Kelenic popped right back up. And Pena had to stay at second base. Maldi tried to advance the runner.
Yeah, Maldi was doing his best to go the other way, but unfortunately Kelenic got a pretty good jump and was able to lay out and make the play. What I think was great is watch Pena read the ball off the bat, sense it might have a chance to be caught, gets back to the bag and gave it an effort, but kept his eyes on Kelenic. So as soon as he saw that good throw, he shut it down, stayed at second base, kept himself in scoring position for the top part of the Astros lineup.
We've talked about this before on this road trip in Anaheim. He is a student of the game.
Yes.
Part of it is growing up with the game, with his father Geronimo having played at the major league level for 7 seasons. But the other part is he just loves the game and studies it, and he does everything right. He's not a young player with just these physical tools. He knows how to play the game and has instincts.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. All those things contributing to him being in the big leagues. And those are those intangible things that you really can't teach.
Jose Altuve with a strike call. The count's 1-1. Altuve had an RBI single his last time up. Made it a 4-0 game. The only time Pena was retired tonight on that sac fly, he hit the ball 391 feet and had an expected batting average of .710. Swing and a miss. Altuve down to the count 1-2. Eric Swanson back out there for his 2nd inning of work. Astros have Hector Neris warming up the bullpen. It appears that Neris will have the 9th inning. Mariners will have the top of their order due up. Called 3rd strike at the knees. Altuve down looking. Swanson picks up his 2nd strikeout. 2 outs in the 9th.
The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Minute Maid Park. Buy and manage game tickets, unlock offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
Michael Brantley will bat here with 2 outs and a runner on second base. Brantley looking for his first hit, but he has made a bid for at least a 3-hit night and had some great defense against him. Adam Frazier and Julio Rodriguez robbing him of base hits, and J.P. Crawford made a nice play on him as well. Could easily be 3 for 4. Justin Verlander brilliant in 8 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball. Astros scoring 4 runs tonight. Brantley trying to tack on another one here with 2 outs in the 9th. There's Hector Neris. He will get Adam Frazier, Ty France, and Jesse Winker top of the Mariners lineup in the 9th inning. Again, if you're just joining us, Ryan Presley placed on the injured list before the game. 10-day IL with knee inflammation. Pitchers still can go on the 10-day IL like last year, at least for this first month, and then the rules kind of shift once you get to May 2nd. Pitchers will have to go on the IL for 15 days then, when you go to 26-man rosters and 13-man pitching staffs. Michael always has hit well with 2 outs. He's hit well in almost every category. You throw a category up there hoping you're the top.
Every time.
Always battles, gets down to the count, battles.
Well, that was one of the great conversations, you know, I've had with Michael Brantley. As I asked him, it might have been the 2nd year he was with the Astros, and I said, hey, talk to me a little bit about your 2-strike approach. He goes, I don't have one. I was like, man, I had to fight for my life with 2 strikes. And he just kind of said, I don't change anything. My swing doesn't change. I see the ball, I hit the ball. If it's in the zone, I give it a good pass. If it's out of the zone, I take it. And I kind of appreciated that, and explains why he is so good with 2 strikes and has at bats like this, where he's able to fight off some tough borderline pitches. But there's no panic in this guy's swing because of how good the swing is.
Always one of the toughest to strike out, and you're right, because he is so good and he trusts his hands so much that he doesn't need a 2-strike approach. You can see what he did last year, 3rd highest in Major League Baseball, hitting .252 with 2 strikes, and he's been battling this whole AB down 0-2. More pitches he sees, you like his chances. All right, that's a tough slider down and in.
Yeah, it was a tough spot.
That's a lot. That's a strikeout for a lot of hitters. Michael stays alive, just getting a piece.
Yeah, so if you're a young hitter, even if you're right-handed or left-handed, and you're not necessarily thinking about launch angles and exit velocities at your age, just watch the head movement of Michael Brantley. It's as still as anybody I've ever seen in the big leagues, and that allows him to see the ball longer than most hitters. Real soft on the front side when his stride foot gets out there, but the head stays still, and he picks that baseball up quick out of the hand of the pitcher.
Inside, 1-2. 1 strikeout every 9.29 plate appearances. 5th best among active Major League players. Andrelton Simmons on that list.
I think what makes that number even more incredible is in this day and age of the strikeout. Swanson trying to figure it out.
Swanson's thrown about everything up there, and Michael keeps fouling off 2-strike pitches. Four straight years hitting .300 for Uncle Mike. Nobody else in the major leagues has done that. Trying to get him to chase upstairs, and he holds off the swing, and now the count's even at 2 apiece. Tenth pitch of this matchup coming up here between Swanson and Brantley, and Swanson finally wins it. Michael tosses the bat away. That was quite a battle won by the Mariners reliever Eric Swanson. Hector Neris will be the pitcher for the Astros in the bottom half of the 9th inning. It is 4-0 Houston. AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Rooms to Go. Don't miss the store-wide mattress sale going on now. It's time to improve the way you sleep. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Reminder, coming up after our game will be the post-game show presented by Whataburger. Kevin Eschenfelder, Mike Stanton, and all the highlights of this one. Julian Morales gathering interviews on the field and in the Astros clubhouse. Astros post-game show presented by Whataburger coming up here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Once this game ends, Adam Frazier will lead things off against Hector Neris, the new pitcher for the Astros here in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, the newly acquired right-hander Hector Neris has had a good start to his Astro career after spending 8 seasons with the Philadelphia Phillies and pitching extremely well. Now getting an opportunity deep in this ball game. He's thrown 3 1/3 innings this season. He's yet to give up an earned run. The opponent batting average at 167. He's only given up 2 hits in those 3 1/3. Fastball and a very good changeup.
Dusty Baker has not minded seeing Neris on lefties. He has brought him in a couple of times to face Shohei Ohtani to start an inning. And once in the middle of an inning. Now he'll face at least 2 out of 3 lefties here. He has Adam Frazier leading off, and then Ty France, a right-hand hitter, followed by Jesse Winker, lefty. Frazier 1 for 3 tonight. He had a hit against Justin Verlander, the very first batter of the game, and JB would lock it in from there. Verlander allowed a total of 3 singles tonight. He did not allow anybody to reach second base. He struck out 8, didn't walk a batter, and he was in absolute command this entire night. And now Neris trying to finish it off. Neris ahead of Frazier, 0-2.
There's that pitch usage. He'll hover in that mid-90s, and what that does is actually makes that split that much better. You know, early on, and on some of the websites it'll say changeup, but we had an opportunity here early in the season to get some grips and see some pitches out of the right arm of Hector Neris, and that split is very effective. Almost got the chase right there from Frazier on it, and that's what makes him effective to both sides as he throws that split. Be diving away from left-handed hitters.
How did he hold up on that swing? 2 strike, you have to protect. That was a great pitch.
Yeah, he got 4 hits yesterday. He got 1 today. He's feeling okay about himself.
Yeah, he's feeling pretty good. So Neris, in his time with the Phillies, picked up 84 saves in his time with the Phillies. He was there from 2014 to 2021. So over the course of 8 seasons, Neris had 84 saves. He had a 28 save season in 19 and a 26 save season in 16. Excuse me, in 17. He did not. It's not a safe situation here, but doesn't matter. He picks up a strikeout there of Adam Frazier, and Neris gets Frazier looking for the first out of the 9th inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Houston Astros and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Houston Astros. Well, Neris will now face Ty France. France was one of the few who had any chance against Justin Verlander tonight. France was impressive, 2 for 3 against JB, had 2 of the 3 hits. Ninth strikeout for Astros pitching. Verlander with 8, and now Neris picking up a strikeout.
Tell you what, the 2 games leading into this one right here for that Justin Verlander pitch for Astros pitching was much needed. Those previous 2 games had a ton of walks and a ton of hit by pitches. They were giving a lot of free passes to hitters. I think it was 17 walks in the previous 2 games.
Not good. Some hit.
Is that right? 17 walks and 5 hit batters.
Well, there's 8 walks last night.
Oh, yeah, there were. Don't go back to that day, I told you.
Well, you just asked me a question about that day.
We'll just kind of throw the number out there. Don't say it.
Okay, I won't say the day. The game before last night, 9 walks. So you're right, 17.
Wow.
And 5 hit batters. It's a lot of free base runners.
That is. Too many. That's tough to win baseball games when you're giving up that many free passes. So Verlander played stopper tonight and did a great job at it. No walks, 8 strikeouts.
One pitch, and France thought he had a pitch he liked and missed it as 3-2. Justin Verlander with those 8 innings tonight. Nobody thrown a complete game, so Verlander matches the most innings pitched by a starter in 2022. Logan Webb pitched 8 innings against the Padres earlier this year for the Giants. That ball hit hard, but Kyle Tucker is there. Neris has an out on Ty France, a tough out. 2 away here in the 9th. Webb allowed an earned run in that start against San Diego, so Verlander the first starter to go 8 innings of shutout baseball in the major leagues in 2022. He's really 39, right? That's what we're told.
I mean, that's what the birth certificate says, but I'm not sure that he has any idea what that number means because he doesn't pitch like that.
Coming off Tommy John surgery, late 30s, only Jamie Moyer had Tommy John surgery for a starter at an older age. And obviously Jamie was never a power pitcher.
No, he wasn't in the fast lane.
So this is new territory.
Yeah, this is incredible.
A power pitcher, 37 years old, has Tommy John, comes back at age 39. Bronson Arroyo did it at age 37, but younger at 37.
And that last pitch that Justin Verlander threw in this game, 96 miles an hour. Just to reinforce what you're saying.
He is setting the bar for the late 30 guys in the future that are power pitchers that get Tommy John. He's going to set the bar.
Either that or he's looking at them all and going, you're never going to be this good at this age.
Quite impressive to see JV in his second start off Tommy John do what he did tonight. Winker tries to hold up on an 0-1 pitch and does. Jesse Winker struck out twice against Verlander. He was 0 for 3. Hector Neris trying to finish off this game and give the Astros a victory and a winning road trip. Started out the trip 4-1. They had lost a couple in a row and now looking to get back in the win column. This ball hit high in the air, right center field. Time for McCormick to get there, and he puts it away for the final out. Astros with a 3-hit shutout. Justin Verlander for 8. Hector Neris the final inning. And the Astros have a winning road trip on their first long road trip of the year. Blummer, this is a much needed win after a couple of losses surrounding an off day.
Yeah, we just kind of mentioned some of the things that the pitchers were allowing. Free base runners, 17 walks, 5 hit batsmen. And they really did have the offense to support what the pitchers were doing. But today we saw the pitching support Justin Verlander. We talk about him being at the top of this rotation. And he proved his worth tonight and probably exceeded some of the expectations even for himself in his second start coming back from Tommy John surgery. At some point, we're just going to stop mentioning the Tommy John because he's just going to continue to go back to being Justin Verlander like he was tonight.
Outstanding night for Dusty Baker and the Astros. No Mariner reached second base tonight in a 4-0 shutout victory. We'll have more, including the postgame show, coming up after this.